Good morning, sixth graders. Happy Thursday. Today is May 21st. We are cruising through this bizarre school year. Let me share my screen with you, and we'll get into today's video lesson. You can see there's quite a few things on the agenda. I have a quick lesson about how you live affects where you live. I have a story that I want to read to you, the second part of the Bob story, and some announcements. So let's get started. We have a Google Game Meet today, and that's going to be at 10 a.m. If you have academic questions, of course, you can ask. But once questions are done, I will have a game for us to play. I think today is a Pictionary day. The team lunch that I talked about earlier in the week is going to be rescheduled for next week. I will tell you exactly which day as soon as I find out, but due to all the guidance meetings that are going on during the day today and tomorrow and yesterday, we're just going to postpone that lunch until next week. There's an amazingly cute picture of Rory when he was a puppy. That was a very long time ago. Oh, he's still cute today, but he does not look like that. Okay, really quick lesson. This is a flip of the lesson that we did earlier this week. So an important concept in social studies is how you live affects where you live. What this means is that people, right here, how you live, affects the physical geography of where they live, nature. People affect nature. The way in which people live their lives has an impact on the physical environment. The way in which we live our lives can change the natural environment in positive and or negative ways. These would be negative ways. These would be positive impacts that we're having on the physical environment. Let me give you some more specific examples. All right, let's say people build a bunch of factories that have smokestacks on them. Looks like this, right? What impact does that have on the physical geography? Well, it's going to create air pollution. It's going to make plants sick. It's going to make birds sick. Oh, look at that funny graphic. Oh. Driving a Prius, that is something people do. A Prius is a hybrid car. It uses less fossil fuels. It uses less gasoline. It looks like this. If you choose to do this, what impact does it have on the physical environment? Well, it creates less air pollution, and it results in, oh look, healthier plants and happier birds. Another action that people take, another thing how people live their lives is, some of us are meat eaters. I'm one of them. I eat hamburgers. And when we eat hamburgers, what impact does that have on nature? Well, this one, oh boy. But no, seriously, if you eat hamburgers, it's a cow, so, you know. Let's move on. All right, so story time. I want you to be thinking about how, in this story, how do the actions that people take, Bob, his kids, other characters who are in the story, how does that impact their physical geography? This is a sequel to Bob's Bees, which I read to you earlier this week. There'll be a copy that you can read on your own in Google Classroom, posted later today. Or posted this morning, actually. By the time you wake up, it'll be posted. And you can have Google read aloud do it for you, or you can read it on your own, or you can listen to me right now, because here I go. Recently, Robbie and Roberta were out running near the river. See what I'm doing with the R's there? Oh, I love it. Robbie noticed some garbage candy wrappers floating in the river. Roberta quickly retrieved the rotten wrappers from the river. That's when Roberta noticed that there was refuse all along the river. Refuse is a fancy word for garbage. This is so gross, said Robbie, as he noticed some of the fish in the river appeared to be sick. OMG, exclaimed Roberta. Do you know what this means? We have been drinking garbage water. The river water was used not only to power the factory and produce honey, it was also the factory's source of drinking water. Robbie and Roberta ran home to report what happened to their parents. Bob and Barbara were quite upset to learn that their river was polluted. Bob was beside himself once again. Bob suggested closing down Bob's Bees and starting a new business somewhere else, but Barbara disagreed. We can fix this, said Barbara. They hired a cleaning company to clean up the river and asked the state government to pass a law outlawing pollution of the river. The river was clean and the law was passed. A few months later, Robbie and Roberta were out running near the river again. This time, there were no sick fish, and all the turtles looked healthy, too. Remember, people impacting physical geography. Here we go. Next paragraph.
Robbie and Roberta ran the factory at Bob's Bees. Ryan, one of their workers, kept forgetting to close the top of the dumpster in the back of the factory. The garbage ended up attracting some raccoons. One night, while feasting on an old bag of chips in the dumpster, one of the raccoons caught a whiff of honey. In addition to garbage, raccoons love honey. The smell of honey was especially strong around the factory because Bob had placed all of the beehives in a small area. The raccoon went to investigate and discovered Bob's beehives. And the raccoon then reported this to his raccoon friends. For weeks, the raccoons of Asheville would eat Bob's dumpster garbage and then have some of the honey for dessert. Raccoons. Shortly afterwards, the residents of Asheville started reporting that the raccoons in the area seemed different. Wildlife experts were called in and they learned that the raccoons had gained tons of weight from all the garbage that they had been eating, and many of them also had dental health issues because of cavities from the sweet honey. And this is in fact a picture of a raccoon with a toothbrush. Seriously, Mr. Higgins, why do you have time to Google these things? I don't know. All right, that's the story, folks. And what I would like you to do today is the same thing we did earlier in the week, but this time I want you to look at what are some of the actions that people took in this story and what impact did their behavior have on the physical geography in the story. You have a cause and effect assignment that is due today. It was assigned a few days ago. This assignment that I gave you isn't due until after the holiday break. We have a 3-day weekend this weekend. But get it done sooner than later. I think that would be better for everybody. And then last but not least, virtual map quiz. It's practice time. We're starting to learn the European countries, even though we haven't started learning about Europe yet. So spend some time today practicing. I hope I see a bunch of you guys later on this morning at our Google Meet, and I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see you later. Miss you guys. Miss you.